Are we actually live? I see
Yeah,
numbers.
we're live.
I see
Yeah,
pieces. All
yeah, we're live.
right. So we got our mid-season report card coming up on today's Fascar Pit Stop podcast. Hey, we're trying to get to 31,000 followers on TikTok by the time we finish this podcast. So y'all go head over, or if you're watching on our TikTok, make sure y'all hit that follow. Really appreciate it. Just keep doing it. We'll remind y'all throughout the night. But thank y'all so much. So what we got coming up on the docket, Andy?
Yeah, we're reviewing this year so far, the Cup Series, and particularly, we're gonna get some report cards out to some drivers, and I guess we'll kind of touch on how the season's gone so far.
Yeah, I think we can talk a little bit about some scheduling too, because it seems like we're going to have a little shakeup next year.
Mm-hmm.
The heck is on my camera? Multiplication.
Fixture stuff.
Wow, wow. But all right, let's get. You want to roll the beginning, the screens?
Yeah, man, we need that intro.
They get it.
God bless America, and gentlemen, start your engine!
Still down there. Still down there.
Still outside corner, you're number one.
Was out. Hell was out. Then just about outricked him. And then she busted her ass.
Are you eating?
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Are you eating?
Oh, maybe. I didn't even have a
Normal.
chance to eat dinner. I had to pick up the pizza on the way to the hotel. Yeah, I'm coming to y'all this week from the cup chair at the hotel, so I can just sit here.
All right. So
Hey, that's like Ty Dillon in a good ride.
what's that?
I'm sitting here, never in the good ride.
Oh, yeah. So, Mini Truck Madman on TikTok just said, did y'all see the news about Josh Berry? I saw it.
I think we might have reported on that, I don't know, a month ago on one of our TikTok videos. Actually, I think I did it twice. We had heard a lot coming up recently that was kind of finalizing. I think, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, probably.
Yeah, you made that video about Matty D maybe
Yeah.
taking over the 48. It was in the middle of Bowman's injury.
Yeah, that's right. And it was still pretty quiet because it was like the last race that Josh was going to run in it. And we had said, hey, it's probably going to be the 4. Called the number and all. So, I mean, if you don't believe me, you can go back and watch them. It'll be me, my fat ass, and you'll see it. We called it plain as day. What do you think about the move? Do you think it's a win for Stuart Haas?
I think it's a fresh face to come into Stuart Haas and kind of look. Josh doesn't have a lot of experience in a Cup car, but he's a good driver. So he can add to Stuart Haas's their internal. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. They can definitely add with Josh into the team.
It helps the team because that team felt kind of stale. Other than Harvick, you look at the average finishes of those other drivers, and there ain't much there.
Yeah, it seems like with Josh coming in, it definitely will add a new face. I mean, obviously, we're going to miss Kevin a lot. The team's going to miss Kevin a lot, and I don't foresee Stuart Haas making a huge difference. You can't be doing that live, dude. Now I got to hear you. Now I got to hear you talk.
Just keep talking.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to have Stuart Haas like turn the ship around immediately with Josh Berry coming in. It's going to take some time.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Obviously, we got Areola in the 10 as well. I'm really hoping that he retires and does not run one more year. We've already made a video on that as well, but I'm calling it again now. I really think it's going to be Harrison Burton moving over to the 10 car, and then Zane Smith gets that cup ride that he deserves, and he's going up there and racing for the Wood Brothers.
Yeah, it definitely Ford seems like they're probably the slowest out of the three manufacturers right now, and I don't think you're going to be able to see Josh coming in and all the Fords run better immediately. It's going to take some time. I definitely think that Josh is the right move, though.
Yeah, they got to fix the aero with those cars. Once they do that, That'll be a much better ride for them. But it is good to see some fresh blood go in there.
Yeah. Kudos to Stuart Haas for picking up Josh too. Like that's an awesome pickup for sure.
There we go. Now I can watch the TikTok. I couldn't see it before, so I can try to keep up with some of that stuff too.
Yeah. I was trying to read some of the comments there. I was getting distracted.
You're good. It's cool and all for Josh, but here's another cookie cutter, no personality driver that smiles over it. I don't think he does as much. I think that's what Junior does because that's what Hendrick did. Hendrick is always very shut down and closed. Definitely Dale is more open because obviously he had someone like Noah, but Noah was the limelight all of last year. He's not going to try to overzest Noah. So I think he's got a little bit of a personality, but how much we don't really know.
Yeah, I think like Josh obviously we met him at the Charlotte race too. So he was just kind of to himself, doesn't really put himself out there. So he's a heck of a driver though. So it'll be interesting to see what Stuart Haas is going to be able to do with him and kind of develop him into obviously they want him to be a star.
I want to touch on a TikTok one real quick. Amarola has been very consistent and strong this year since the next gen has been ran. I really don't think so. He's definitely at the beginning of the year had some pretty decent races he was doing in, but then by the end of it, he still finished outside of the top 15, top 20. So I don't know. I'm big on that one.
Yeah, I'm looking up where Almirola is in points because I'm curious about that. Obviously Harvick's been carrying the team.
Yeah. Well, I'll get on to another TikTok comment while you do that one. So who takes over the 10 car now? Just talked about it a few seconds ago. I don't know when this comment was actually dropped, but the 10 car would then be taken over by Harrison Burton, and then Zane Smith would move over to that car.
I think it all depends on money too, obviously, who's going to be able to bring money.
Yeah. And Zane, that's the one question I have for him. How much money can he? Amarola is 26th.
It's 26. Ryan Preece is actually in front of him.
Interesting. So, yeah, I don't really see the consistency there because it's just he ran good at a couple tracks. That's about it. I'm not a big Areola fan.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of us are.
Has Kevin hinted at all to sticking around at SHR similar to how Kurt was 2311?
I think he does. I think he does, though. Yeah.
I think it'll be the same thing, kind of like Kurt Busch, except it's more TV time because I think he'll definitely stick around and hang on as a advisor.
Yeah, I think he'll stick around. Obviously, like you said, with the TV and everything, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but I don't know. I don't see Stuart going, or I don't see Kevin going anywhere. He's got best friends with Tony and everything, so he's gonna want to be able to see the 4 car succeed and the team succeed.
Yeah. Hey, y'all blow up those likes. The likes get more people in here, so make sure y'all blowing up the likes on YouTube. Everything else, hit the like as well. I really appreciate it. It gets that pushed out to more people. Commenting really helps. Just keep pushing through the stuff. We really appreciate it, and we're going to keep reading the comments as much as we can on the TikTok side. TikTok, we dedicate y'all a Friday show, so that's a little different than what we're doing here. But if you comment on YouTube or Facebook, we can actually put it up on the screen. Let us not forget, you can shut up.
Racing Road on TikTok also says, do you think Haley Deegan should go back to ARCA? No, we've talked about this before. I think she needs an Xfinity ride immediately.
Yeah, she can do a whole bunch more in an Xfinity card, in my opinion. The one she only ran, I think, one so far, and that one was a top 15, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
She raced really well. I remember watching it and going, "That's actually really good." So I think she's just not. The truck series is a bunch of rich people with bumper cars.
Yeah. All right. Let's kind of jump into our driver report cards because this may take a little bit. I figure we'll just go down the line numerically, no particular order.
I think we just go down the line. I mean,
yeah,
it's the easiest way to run it.
And then we'll just give them an A through F, just like in school.
Yeah.
All right, Ross Chastain.
C. I'd give him a C right now. Ever since he had his talking to, I really think it's been, much more difficult for him and that team. I don't know if it's because of the talking to, because he's having to think before he races, but I give him a C.
I give him a B minus, mainly because he was already at 2 wins at this point last year. He's at 0 wins. He is in 4th in points. So obviously the speed has been there, but as you alluded to, ever since their sit down with Justin Marks and Mr. H, it seems like Ross is just kind of taking a step backwards.
Yeah, and Suarez a little bit the same. I saw some people actually compare.
Yeah,
and
I've
Suarez
been
is actually
disappointed
taking a
with
step back
Suarez so
too.
far.
Yeah. One of the comments on TikTok, real quick, before it goes too far. Do we see Kevin Harvick do some races in the future like Jimmy is? I think no. I think he's another
Yeah.
Carl Edwards that once he is done, he is done. Now he's going to stick around for TV, but he ain't. I don't think he's getting back in the car. I think he's done with that.
Yeah, I think especially with Keelan coming up now, that when he is not in the booth, he's going to be focusing a lot of time on Keelan and getting him tuned up to, make the jump into NASCAR, as soon as Keelan possibly can.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to help it every step of the way. And for the person saying lay off Chastain, he's a good sport. He's good for the sport. 100% agree with you. He's good for the
I'm
sport.
a Chastain fan.
About to say Andy's a Chastain fan. We got his signature on a flag, and then we've gotten a signature on a couple different things. We've met Ross a few times.
Yeah,
really
Ross
good dude.
Ross is so down to earth too. I actually talked to him there at Charlotte when I met him again, and it was obviously after the Darlington race, where he got into Kyle Larson. But I asked him, I was like, "You and Kyle cool?" And he goes, "Yeah, man, we're good." So it was kind of funny to just be able to cut up with him.
It is. And when they're walking back from the campers at Atlanta or, at Darlington when he came out on the golf cart, that's just awesome for a racer to do. And you actually get to see him. That's why I think a lot of people, if they go to races, they would probably be fans of different people than who they think they enjoy on TV. Because I was a Chase Elliott fan. The more I saw him at tracks, and the more I got to interact with other race car drivers, it kind of took that Chase fandom of mine away because they were unapproachable. Heck, you got Noah who came and signed our school bus. So, I mean, there's a big difference.
Yeah. All right, Austin Cindric.
I would say for what I expected, I would give him either a C or a D. So very low C, high D.
I give him a D minus, borderline F, because he obviously is not. Look, he won the Daytona 500, his first ever race, got in the playoffs. He kind of carried some of that speed last year. He was obviously, up and running for the road courses there at COTA. He led a little section of COTA there last year. So it seems like he's taken a step backwards this year, but I don't pin that completely on him as well. I think that has a little something to do with obviously Ford's performance as well.
Yeah. Ford has not caught a break. They have the worst aerodynamics right now, which is proven. And so Cindric is just, I expected more out of him. That's why I still keep him in the C, and that's what he fails me the most at. But as far as the racing, I don't think it's him as much as it is the car.
Yeah, he's currently 21st in points too, which, again, like I said, he won the 500, so he can't. It's really hard to judge him where he's at right now, just because he opened up last year with a bang. So how do you compare that to this year? Yeah.
And real quick for their TikTok, do you think Noah stays with Legacy another year or the two of them go somewhere else? I think they stay. They've both raced for Toyota before. So this really isn't a long stretch to go, hey, this can happen or can't happen. They've raced for Toyota before. The weirdest part is Jimmy Johnson racing in a Toyota.
Yeah. I'm trying to get up the 2023 top fives and all that stuff, results, whatnot.
Race results.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'll go through some of these comments on TikTok while he does that. Y'all keep hitting the like button. Really appreciate it. Hit the follow if you don't already. It kind of brings more and more people in here. Cindric will never leave because of who his dad is at Penske.
Yes, that's very true.
That part's very true.
Now, hang on, though. There's a possibility that, 3 or 4 years from now, Cindric's still not performing. They probably wouldn't be afraid to move him back down to Xfinity, just like what Custer was done. Because don't forget, Custer's dad has, a very high position at Stewart Haas.
I almost think they would probably take him because of his age and how long he's already been doing it. I think he would move into race operations at the house. So I think he would actually go back to Penske and start working for them as something in race operations. Could he still?
Cindric's average finish this year is 21.9. So,
gotcha. Hampton Inn, yeah, diamond status, boy. You know it.
All right, Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon, that would be an F for me.
Really?
An F for me. I'm already not a Dillon fan, either one of them, but he's in the 3 car, and I know we can't hold numbers against people, but he's already in the 3 car, and he's making a mockery of that number and what it means to NASCAR, in my opinion. So I'm giving him an F.
You know, I like Austin Dillon. I said it in our Friday show that I like Austin. We talked about retiring numbers and whatnot and how we feel about that. But the biggest thing is with Austin, we got Kyle Busch out there, just 3 wins on the season so far.
Mm-hmm.
What
So it's
what do
definitely
you
not the team.
and 2 of them were kind of dominating wins between Fontana and Gateway. So Kyle's got the speed. Where's Austin?
I don't know, but 0-3 the king. I love that one. Austin worried about making a baby instead of racing. You know, that TV show. Yeah, he's focusing there. That's the problem.
That crew member too, that's on the TV show. I don't know his name because I don't watch that shit. But every race we have been to this year, I've seen him like in person,
and everyone asked for photos.
Can't get away from him.
Why?
Yeah,
he walked right by our bus to go in the med center when we were at Darlington, and he was right there. And I'm just like, peace.
Yeah. Okay. So Austin Dillon, I don't think I gave him a score. I give him a D, just a solid D. They did have that penalty, so he's further back in points because of that. So we can't forget about that. But he's 28th in points.
Merry Christmas.
So he probably could have been in the mid-20s without that. But look, he's stinking it up this year for sure.
Y'all make sure y'all hit that follow button if you're watching on TikTok. Hit the like button if you're on the YouTubes and all the rest of them. Really appreciate it. That's what brings more people in. It also gets the chatter and everything going. Leave comments. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, we can put it up on the screen. If you're on TikTok, we'll definitely try to catch it. But, yeah, so, I mean.
His average finish is 21.7.
Who's our next victim after Dillon?
Kevin Harvick.
B. Not where I want him to be, not where I thought he would be, but he's still consistent.
Yeah, I give him a B+. He's out there doing his thing, doing the Kevin Harvick thing. He's 4th in points, so you can't really argue against that. And his average finish is 12.3, which is one of the higher averages finishing. So he's definitely, obviously, not really leading races, not getting stage wins or anything, but he's consistently there. Mm-hmm. How do you give him anything worse than that? He's carrying Stuart Haas.
It's his final tour. He's the best of that branch. So it's obviously him making the vehicle better compared to the rest of them, like you said. So I really enjoy watching him in the race car, and I'm really going to miss him not being there anymore. We got another comment on the
TikTok.
My mind's gone. TikTok. Who do you think makes the next big move? Zane.
Who makes a big move?
Harrison's going to be a pretty big move going from Wood over, I think, too.
If that happens.
Your volume just dropped out, by the way. There you go. You're back. It was weird. All right. Let's see. Kevin Harvick. Harvick is – oh, no, go back. I just lost my comments. Old school, I feel like.
Kyle Larson. Next up on the list.
Hey, Kyle Larson's one of the best race car drivers, period, at the moment. What's up, full gang? He's one of the best, whether it comes to sprint cars or midgets or any of the other things. Like, he is racing out of his mind.
I actually give him a B-. The speed is there. Some of the results are there. 2 wins on the season, but the DNFs, terrible.
All the DNFs were not his fault.
I know they're not his fault, but still, the fact is it's either checkers or wreckers right now with him. So I give him a B- just because of not being able to get out of those DNFs. And again, I know they're not his fault. Look, I'm a Kyle Larson fan, but I'm gonna be honest. It's not in the exact same season as 2021.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he's got for the rest of the year. See where's Burton going? So we're hearing Areola is going to retire in the 10. That's going to move Harrison Burton down to the 10, and then Zane Smith would move up to the Wood Brother car. So that's where Burton would go. All right, who we got next?
Brad Keselowski.
He's another one that's out racing his equipment. See, that RFK is making moves to get better, but they still got a long way to go.
I give him a B+, maybe even an A-. He's consistently better than what he was last year. Chris Buescher's 11th, Brad Keselowski's 12th in points. So currently they are in the playoffs, and as far as Brad's average finish, he's 15.7. So
I mean, he's got tenacity. He stayed out with a hurt motor going on 7 cylinders for hours. So,
yeah,
I mean,
so Brad, to me, Brad is like, he's exceeding expectations of what the RFK team was and what they're doing now. So how do you give him, anything worse than, in my mind, a B? Because he's tremendously picked up his performance from last year.
Yeah. I'm C right now. I want to see him do better, but I got to see some more out there.
Yeah. Rich
Do
in
we
the comments
see
even says that Brad will get a win this year. I agree. And it may not even be a super speedway.
And for the one previous to that, the Kurt Busch return, no, Kurt Busch is done. I think he'll probably do some races like Johnson, probably 1 or 2 just to see, and then maybe that'll be it. But I think he's done racing.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Corey LaJoy.
That's got to be a D for me. He finally got good equipment, got to get in good equipment, and couldn't do better than the guy that jumped in the car from Xfinity Series, aka Josh Berry. And I don't see how that's possible. And then Corey always just complains. If he didn't complain about why he couldn't do it so much, I would
Stacking excuses.
Stacking excuses. You're right.
I give him a C, just middle of the road C. He's obviously performing way better than he was last year, but I think part of that has to do with, Spire dumping more money into the 7 car than what they have in the past, because you look at the 77, he runs like shit every single week. So
it is Ty Dillon.
It is Ty Dillon too. So what are you going to do about that? But yeah, I feel like with Corey, where he's running at right now, I think he's, every single week I look, he's 20th in running order. So he's definitely picked up performance, but I'm trying to find his name here.
You're good. He is not worth looking up. This is like, all the other names of people.
He's 22nd in points, and he's average finish is 19.3, which I don't know what it was last year, but that's way better than what he was running last year.
I mean, last year had to been 22, 23 at least.
Probably worse than that.
The closest. But all right. Do you see Corey ever getting a big time ride coming from TikTok? Yes, but it's going to take some time.
I don't know. I mean, obviously Hendrick's full up. Stuart Haas depends on this Harrison Burton thing if they go to the 10. I mean, there's a possibility. I don't see him going to Penske anytime. Joe Gibbs, no. Like, the thing with Corey is, though, too, he doesn't bring a lot of money. So what are you –
He's got his podcast.
Stacking excuses? Yeah. I can't watch that.
How about McDowell? We'll get to him. We're going in the order of the how the NASCAR has it listed.
All right, KFB.
It has to be another A. Him right now. It's the Kyle and William show. I think he's done great. You came in. Now it is kind of funny. They pointed it out that every track that Tyler Reddick ran good at, Kyle Busch is winning at, and it's kind of true so far. So it's like, is it the car or is it the driver? We know KFB's good. We thought Tyler Reddick was good. Obviously, one's doing a whole lot better than the other one.
Yeah, I give him an A+, and the reason being is obviously, Kyle is a next level talent, but what he's doing carrying that car, I mean, we've already talked about Austin. There's a drastic difference there. So how do you say that, it's not just the equipment, it's probably the driver and the equipment. But like you said, the races that Tyler ran at last year in the 8 car, he's doing the exact same thing. And the races that Tyler was bad at in the 8 car, Kyle's running bad at those tracks too. He said it that, RCR has to work on their short track and road course programs to be able, not necessarily road course because, Tyler run 2 road courses last year. But look, KFB's doing his thing. He's winning races. He's what, 3rd in points? 6th in points. 2 stage wins, 17 playoff points. So how do you give him anything less than an A, especially what he's doing in RCR equipment?
So what are your predictions on Nashville race? So we'll do predictions at the end of the show. We'll do it for each one of the series that are racing that time. But yeah, we'll get to that for sure.
Chase Elliott.
D. You can't. Never apologizing is one piece for what he right rearing someone. I don't like it. Not really a fan of it. But Chase cannot be consistent in the car. And for that, he's got to get lower. So it's D.
Yeah, I give him D plus C minus somewhere in there. That it's just the speed's not there. He's obviously missed races, so you can't say that it's all just the car or the team. But yeah, I would have to give him a D minus or a D plus or a C minus just because that I've said it before on the show. I don't think Chase is going to win a race before the playoffs.
No. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking like I said, I'm picking him to win the Roval. That's obviously after playoffs have started. Is Junior Motorsports, if Junior Motorsports comes to Cup, there must have been another piece to that, but Junior Motorsports coming to Cup, they need to, but he's going to wait till after the bargain deal and everything goes through where he can see what everything's going to be. He right now, financially, they don't know what the Charger's worth. You look at it, I think they're going for like 30 mil. Is it worth that? Is it not worth that? I don't think it's worth it, and I don't think right now he thinks it's worth it either.
No. Eric Almirola.
Areola. Good old Areola.
26 points.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty good C-D person as well. Somewhere C minus D plus.
Yeah. I that's exactly what I would say. He's just putzing along, doing his thing. He's doesn't really win. When he does, they're either hit or miss races, and the last time he won was Loudon. So,
yeah,
get to Loudon 2021.
Well, get to Xfinity in because that's where it's apparently better.
Yeah. Denny Hamlin.
Denny, I'd say B.
Yeah, I give him a B plus. He average finish 14.6, 8th in points. I mean, just having a solid season so far. He called on this podcast that he was going to get hot, and sure enough, he went out there and won.
Travis Pastrana.
I don't think he's done. I think he can get out there and win a couple more races before the playoffs are starting.
Yeah, for sure. What do we got next?
Ryan Blaney. YRB.
So Blaney gets an A plus 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 plus. I don't know what racing you're watching, but obviously it's that NASCAR Heat 3 turned on super easy mode. Blaney is a B. I'll give him a B. I'm not going to give him something high, but I'm going to give Blaney a B. B for Blaney.
I give him an A, just a solid A. Not an A plus because he needs to learn to close out some more races, but sitting 3rd in points. He's got the 1 race win at the 600, 2 stage points, 7 playoff points, and his average finish is 12.6, which is pretty high up there compared to some of the other guys.
Yeah, I mean he's not terrible.
He's turned the season around. He's turned it around from last year. They had speed last year. He just couldn't close out races, but he's got to start closing out races. I have lost faith in him to be able to win consistently, race in and race out.
Yeah. Kimi Raikkonen. Man, John, you are throwing out some names right now. Go ahead and put Davenport on there. Go ahead and put Sunshine. Connor Daly's trash.
Chase Briscoe, 14 car.
I'd say he's a solid B for what I expected to what I'm seeing. Road course wise, I mean, secretly he does some good stuff. He's got to be in the I don't know about top. He's got to be in the top 20 in points.
No, he's 31st in points.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, they had the largest penalty in NASCAR. You're forgetting
about
that.
That's right. Forgot about
And
that part.
because of that, I'm not gonna grade him off of that. I'm gonna grade him off of where his performance has been this year. He's fallen off. He's not doing what he did last year. Remember in the playoffs last year, he made it to the round of 8, and he made a deep run and almost made it into the championship 4. And
But again,
because of that, what's that?
is it the car? Is it the car? How much of it is the car?
How much of Tony Stewart or Kevin Harvick in the playoffs right now, year in and year out, versus the 3 other drivers in that fold?
Well, we're comparing completely separate people here. Kevin Harvick is much better of a race car driver.
Yes, but Chase Briscoe has now 3 years, going on 4 years of experience in the Cup Series. He has taken a step back this year. He's 19.8 is his average finish.
Yeah.
So because of that, I give him a D.
Damn. All right, who we got next?
AJ Allmendinger.
Ooh. He finally came on the radar here at these last couple of road courses, which obviously the road course is his thing. So he finally put together a pretty decent race. But overall, I'd say he's a C, D. So C. I'll give him C, straight C.
Yeah, I give him like a C minus, if not even a D plus, just because he's not meeting expectations. We thought he was going to be able to go out there, be a force at the road courses. He wasn't even a factor at Coda. He did show a little bit of speed at Sonoma, but when it's not a road course, we don't even talk about him. We don't even see him. So
even Justin Haley hasn't been there too, though. So that shop is also.
I think you're right. Kaulig is definitely a step behind the rest of the other Chevy teams. Let's see, he's currently 20th in points. So I mean, he can make the playoffs as long as he starts pointing himself, and he's got to win.
38 points at whatchamacallits. So that was their Kaulig's most points, single race points earned ever, and it was 38 points from the last race. So that's pretty good for him. He's starting off a good. Yeah. Let's see. I want to see Jesse Iwuji at Hendrick. I don't see that ever happening.
I think he just needs to give it up.
Yeah.
Chris Buescher.
That's who I was thinking of earlier. So I'd give the B. The other one I'd give the D. Yeah, I don't know why. I always get those two backwards. I can never remember the two. Just go with it. So I'll give him
Chris
B.
Buescher, what do you give him?
B.
Why?
I think that, again, he's outperforming his car. It's not showing up as good as Harvick's is, but he is outperforming his car.
You mean Keselowski?
Mm-hmm.
You feeling okay?
I'm just going off the Fords.
Oh, okay. Chris Buescher, I give him an A. I mean, he's out there, again, doing better than what his equipment was. Him and Keselowski are right next to each other in points, 11th and 12th. And Chris Buescher actually has an average finish of 13.8. So we've been talking about him week in and week out now. He's contending for top 5s at this point. Mm-hmm. He's contending for playoff points. He's won a stage already this year. So Chris Buescher, I'd watch out. He's going to make a run for the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I always get him and Chase Briscoe mixed up for some reason. I never understand why I do, but I do.
Briscoe has a receding hairline, so just remember it that way.
Yeah. Who we got next?
Let's see. Martin Truex Jr.
I mean, that's an A. 2 wins this year, bouncing back, loses the girl, and gets the wins. We know what the problem was.
It must have been the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I give him an A plus. I mean, he's already got 2 wins on the year. He's leading points. How do you not give him an A plus? He's come back from essentially a winless season, a write-off season, and is already in the talks to be in the championship for it.
Yep.
Christopher Bell.
C. I actually thought a lot higher of him, especially Toyota hasn't been running terrible. And I just haven't seen him put together a good race.
I give him a B. He's obviously he started off the year strong. Obviously won Bristol Dirt, but he's kind of slid backwards. He's had probably 3 or 4 just the last month or so, just bad races, bad finishes. He's fallen to 7th in points. He was up there like second.
He was
3rd in
first.
points.
He was first at one
Yeah,
point.
he was. Yeah, 13.1 average finish, but again, I think that would have been higher if not for some of these bad races he's had for the last month.
Yep, I agree.
Harrison Burton.
This again with the equipment, I still think he's a C. I mean, it's just he's not gonna light the racetrack on fire. He's not gonna like wow anyone, but he does have good talent and he does have a good future possibly if he gets underneath some good tutelage.
Yeah, he's obviously in a Penske prepared car, but again, I didn't have high expectations for him coming into this year. I just kind of figured that they'd just maybe grow a little bit off of what they had last year, but it doesn't seem like they've even taken that step forward from last year. It just seems like they're doing the exact same thing. So I'm not going to pin it all on the equipment. I think it's just that we haven't seen much out of them.
No, not at all.
Joey Logano.
I'd go with a A- B.
I give him like a B-. He's not contending for wins.
Bro, it's the hair. The hair gets him the B. Okay.
No, he's not contending for wins. Average finish of 15.4. That's not that great considering where his position in the standings is, which is 9th. It just I don't see Logano being a threat this year unless they turn around and find some speed and get hot. Anybody can get hot at the right time. Obviously,
he normally gets hot at the right time, so that's why I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Yeah,
Logano is the GOAT.
Logano is the GOAT. 2-time champion. You can't write that off, but
he ain't the GOAT yet. He ain't the GOAT yet. Not for a while.
Kyle Busch is more of a GOAT than Logano at this point.
Oh, for sure.
Bubba Wallace, number 23.
So Bubba was getting very consistent and finishing in the top 10s really well. And so if you took this 2 weeks back, I probably would have given him a B, a high B, B+. I'm going to go with a C+ now because the consistency has kind of gone back down again.
I give him a C+, maybe a really low B-, like right there borderline. Just because that they have made an improvement from last year. He is currently 15th in points, which means he's sitting in the playoffs. Average finish is 17.2. I don't know what that was last year, but again, I think Bubba's made a step forward compared to last year. And
I agree.
Bubba could knock a win out here, just I wouldn't say surprise people, but will kind of come out of nowhere, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think it's the road course though, so
we'll he's got to get better on road courses.
Yeah.
William Byron,
A+.
A+, yeah.
A+.
I don't think there's any way to argue that.
Yep. We talked about consistency at the beginning of the year, and he has been consistent. He did what we asked.
And that's, again, so I want to touch on, you got Kyle Larson in the 5, and you got William Byron in the 24. We talk about them week in and week out. TV talks about them week in and week out. They had the exact same speed in those cars. Byron just has the better results. And again, that's why I gave him the A+, and I gave Kyle the B- just because of the results.
Yep.
I mean, Byron's 12.3 average finish. The 31, Justin Haley.
Haley's disappeared. He's got the Louver points against him, so I know he's low in points. Unfortunately for him, it's a D.
I thought they got their points back because of the Hendrick scenario.
Oh yeah, that's right. NASCAR did.
He's 23rd in points.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, I give him a middle of the road C, kind of like Allmendinger. Allmendinger's 20th in points. Haley's 23rd in points. Colleague doesn't really have the speed this year. Their cars are just a step behind, I would say, the B tier Chevys. So, 19.5 is his average finish. Allmendinger's is 19.9. They're next to each other every single week.
Yeah.
The 34, Michael McDowell.
Michael McDowell, I would definitely give him an A-. He has done phenomenal, I think, in the equipment that he has, as well as the consistency he's been able to go through. He has gotten a whole lot better. Him and Stenhouse both kind of this year, I feel like both are putting in really good years, and they deserve it. They deserve a higher score.
Yeah, I give McDowell just a solid road to B. New crew chief this year, his old crew chief that they won the 500 with and had a really good start to the season in 2021. He moved over to be Bowman's crew chief. So, that's kind of a new team, but same old McDowell just knocking out, top 15s, top 10s here and there, running consistently. He has an average finish of 19.6, and he's 19th in points. So he could sneak his way into playoffs.
I agree. All right, let's get these. 41 minutes. We still got a lot to go, so let's move through some names.
Todd Gilliland, his teammate.
I'd still give Todd a good score. I mean, I'd say for the equipment he's in, he's got to be a B-, B, solid B.
Yeah, I give him a solid B as well because I was looking at his numbers as well. He's 24th in points. 20.1 is his average finish. And let's not forget with those point situation that he's in, he's part-time in that front row car. Remember Zane's taking some of those seats? So when he's not in a front row car, he's racing a Rick Ware car.
Yeah.
And he's still 23rd in points, or 24th in points.
Because Rick Ware cars are not known for finishing anywhere in the top.
Yeah. Unless you got Ryan Newman.
True.
Ryan Preece.
C-.
Yeah, you read my mind on that. He's just he hasn't really lived up to expectations. I kind of thought he was going to have a better season.
Yeah.
What's the
difference? What's the difference between Custer and Preece right now?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and try to find points where they were comparatively, but Preece is 25th in points, average finish of 22.3. It's just not one
there.
Playoff point.
Yeah, no bueno.
Noah Gragson.
I want to rate him higher than what he is. Unfortunately, boy has been struggling. The car is not great. We already know Chevy's turned their back on him. He's at a C-.
Yeah, I give him a C-, D+ somewhere in there. It's kind of hard to nail down, just an exact grade for him, just because of that same fact. Legacy has no Chevy support, so I'm not rating the driver that bad of a score. It's just they're ready for 2024.
Yeah, they're ready for the next year. Let's hear it. Who shows up at Nashville, Chevy or Toyota? I think it's going to be Toyota, actually.
Yeah, I agree. I think Toyota is going to be the top dog at Nashville. We could put Eric Jones in that same situation. What we gave Noah the grade for, they've taken a step back, but that's not necessarily Eric's talent or the team. It's lack of manufacturer support.
Just no sim time. I mean, you can see it. The team is not what it should be right now.
Yeah. Tyler Reddick.
So I would actually give him a C as well. He has not performed where I thought he was going to perform this year. Regardless, he was known as being the next road course ace. I think he was top 3 in the last 5 road courses, and he did not even show up when it came to that race.
Yeah. He's kind of been a weird one to figure out this year because I figured the beginning of the year he would have a little bit of a struggle just with the new team, kind of learning everything. And they did struggle. He had like 3 DNFs in a row or 3 last place finishes in a row or something like that. Mm-hmm. But he's worked his way up to 13th in points, but his average finish is just 16.5. It's just mediocre, really.
Yeah.
Obviously he's a better driver than Bubba Wallace. So, and I'm not dissing Bubba in that regard. I'm just saying he's a better driver right now than Bubba. But
I think a lot of it comes from money too. You got to think when Tyler lost Cheddar's, 3 Chi, I mean, these are some big names. This isn't just a couple dollars being thrown. This is a lot of marketing dollars going towards this team. And Tyler did not have that follow him. He had to start from fresh sponsors. So there's probably not as much money going into that car as going into Bubba's because Bubba's had consistent sponsors and the
I
same
don't
way.
know. They got Monster sitting there that sponsor most of those races.
Yeah,
That's a
but
lot of
that's
money.
more of a team. The Xfinity and the Monster was a team sponsorship with Tyler Reddick being the one that ended up
Yeah.
getting it on his car.
Yeah, but the sponsors have to approve of the driver that comes in. So
I agree, but I don't think it's as much money. There's not as many teams, not as many.
I don't think it's a money thing. I don't think it's a funding thing. I think it's just I think right now it's 23-11, still growing. They're going to take a little bit more time, and I think it's just Tyler getting used to a new team too. Like he was in that 8 car for 2-3 years.
We'll see. What we got next?
Who's next? Ricky Stenhouse.
Does Ty Gibbs win before Bubba? No, Bubba wins before Ty Gibbs. That was a TikTok comment. Y'all think sponsorship? Yes, sponsorship 100%. I'm going to touch up on some of these TikTok. Sorry. Sponsorship 100% goes into it. If you have the money to push behind it, then you can do whatever you want in NASCAR. To be able to move to the actual circuit, they usually go, hey, you're good, but you need $1 million. You need a sponsor that's spotting blank. That's how they get these seats. And then if you got enough money, they gonna let you sit there. So yeah, sponsorship is tied to performance.
Yeah, it is. Who did I call? Ricky Stenhouse.
Ricky Stenhouse, A-.
I give him a B plus.
I go for A- just because, I mean, obviously Daytona, and then he was doing pretty super consistent. I think he was in the top 5 like 3 consecutive weeks. Then the Bristol Dirt Race happened, and then he kind of came back up again. So I'm gonna give him A-.
So Ricky's sitting 14th in points, but yes, he has the win, but his average finish 14.6.
Oh, okay. Actually, that's better than I thought it was gonna be.
That's really good for that team.
So he was in the top 5 for I want to say like 3 races straight or something like that.
He has been contending for top 10s week in and week out. I give him a solid B plus. Shoot, I mean, I could even argue A- just because of they are that one team that, little team that just is going to carry that momentum all the way through the year.
Yep, 100%.
It's not like McDowell. McDowell got that Daytona 500 win. Yeah, they were good for, I would say, the first third of the year, and then they fell off. But Ricky, he's carried it through.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't show any signs of slowing down.
Not at all.
Alex Bowman.
D. It just hasn't really shown up. Obviously, it was out. I think Josh was doing better. Well, I don't know if I can say that. Bowman was actually really consistent at the beginning of the year. And I want to say he was close to being top in points as well. Yeah. So
I would give him like a B minus just because of the fact that he's missed some time because of injury and everything. But even with the races he missed 3 races. He's still 16th in points. Yeah. So you have to look at that as he had a lot of points accumulated because of consistency, and has been able to hold on. I mean, his average finish is 12.
Yeah, no, he was.
That's not far behind. Like you got Kyle Busch at 12.1. He's actually got the second best average finish to Martin Truex.
Makes sense. He's been quiet, but he's been doing it. David Gilliland, we touched on him earlier. Definitely out racing his equipment. Definitely doing good this year.
Yeah. Ty Gibbs.
I want to give him an F so bad. I'd say Ty Gibbs is actually probably a C plus, B minus, C plus.
Yeah, I give him a B minus just because of, he's obviously in Joe Gibbs equipment. So you should expect for him to run really good. And he honestly has. First full-time season in the Cup Series, where is he at here in points?
He was 14th. I don't know where he is now.
18th in points.
18th.
Yeah. Average finish at 19. That's kind of be expected as, a rookie.
Yeah.
He did have half a season last year of experience after filling in for Kurt.
Yeah. I mean, there is no rookie this year technically, if you think about it. But yeah, he's right now. He's the rookie of the moment.
Yeah.
I'm hoping some things will turn around for Legacy, but I ain't saying that. SHR taking Barry. Does he outperform Briscoe and Priest? If he stays as consistent as he is right now, yes.
Yeah, I kind of think he will. He's just got that talent to kind of carry that team like what Kevin has.
Yeah.
Your favorite driver, Ty Dillon.
Absolute trash can. F-.
I wouldn't go that far. I give him a D-. I'm not going to fail a guy for.
He spun on the first practice lap at Bristol Dirt.
Yes.
Okay, just
There's true.
all I need.
Ty Dillon is 32nd in points.
Yes, I did, Derek. Yes, I did. It took me a second to find it. What's up, Ty?
Where's David at? I know David's still in here.
Hey, I got Ty Dillon and his fans.
All right, David. Not you, David. The David in the comments. I have to call out Ty Dillon. 32nd in points, 16 starts, which is the most starts. He is behind Chase Elliott in points with 9 starts.
Behind almost everybody.
Yes. Chase has nearly half the starts.
Dude he's probably a great person. We've heard he's a great person. Probably a great person.
Nice. We met him there in Charlotte. He's a nice guy, but
exactly. But as a race car driver, nah, bro. That ain't happening.
Dead. That 77 needs to be dead.
Yeah.
If Ty Dillon has a cup ride next year, I will be surprised.
Yeah, I agree. So Derek said there's more personality and racing talent in that than the 77, talking about the trash can here at the Hampton Inn.
Yes, Ben, we have talked about Josh Berry.
Yeah, and he's definitely we're excited for him. We talked about at the beginning. He's going to the 4-car and SHR. I mean, I don't know why we got to keep bringing this out and out, but he's going, and I think he's going to do good. He's not going to have Kevin Harvick money, but he is going to have some good money.
All right, we got one last driver to touch on here, Daniel Suarez.
That's a tough one.
I give him a C-. The speed, the results, everything's not been there. He won Sonoma last year. He downshifted the first year this year, like lap 2. So where are you supposed to put Daniel? I think he's taking a step backwards. He's 17th in points.
I agree with you. I mean, C is where I would put him. I want to see some more consistency out of that car. Obviously, like you said, he won Sonoma this year. He over-revved and then never had a day.
He really hasn't been in contention for anything as far as win-wise. And you look at Ross, his average finish is 13.9. Daniel's average finish is 19.3.
See, Barry is going to be so good for the organization. Another relatable SHR driver is great. Yeah, I don't know about the relatable part, but he is more of a fan's man kind of thing.
Well, the thing I like about Josh is that he came up through late models. He didn't even have a full-time Xfinity ride when he started. They just pieced together sponsorship to be able to give him a start here and there. And, then to get these opportunities to fill in for, injured drivers. And, Josh has taken full advantage of it, and look at him. He's got a full-time cup ride coming up here pretty soon next year. And
okay, so I'm just thinking about this. We've talked a little bit before about who's going to take Josh Berry's spot, right? We talked about, I think, one other time in a podcast. Do you think it's
Junior Motorsports?
Junior Motorsports. Do you think that it's time that the Earnhardt comes to the Earnhardt?
I would love to see Jeffrey race for Dale.
Because I think Jeffrey's on a 1-year deal.
He is, but he's got to bring money.
I can't remember the name of the sponsor right now. The lawn one, yeah. I think that they might be able to put it up there. If that happens, all will be right with the world until Teresa hears it, and then I'm sure some small part in hell will freeze over. But it is what it is.
He's stacking pennies. He gets the leftover coil.
McDowell.
Yeah, Joseph thinks it's Quapple. I said that on one of the last episodes. I think Carson, even in the TikTok comments over here, James even said Carson Quapple. I think Carson's probably going to get this opportunity.
Most likely. I just like when I thought about it, I'm like, he's only a 1-year deal. He has been performing better. Obviously, he's been in a couple of accidents this year. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah, he did say that. I mean, look, is it possible that the 8 car gets 2 part-time drivers? You get Carson and you get Jeffrey?
I don't know about that.
I don't see why not.
I don't know about that.
I don't see why not.
I think they can. I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm a fan of the 8 car being the one that has a part-time driver.
They did it with Josh.
Yeah, they did. I don't know. You love to see it. You do love to see it.
All right,
guys, for sure. Thank you, Adam.
All right, let's move on to a quick recap of the year so far. Let's grade the year. Let's talk about where we think the season has been and where is it going and what are we going to see.
Oh, hold on. I got to dig in Ty Dillon. Fox 0.
Yeah, Fox is in the trash can too. I give Fox a F. That's the first F of the show. I give him an F.
I am
not
so
Fox,
happy it's done.
but for terrible failure. Their coverage was trash this year. I did not like it. Too many commercials, especially at Sonoma. They stacked the commercials terribly to where every 2 laps they threw, green flag racing and then straight to commercial break. It was
every road course was terrible because of Fox.
Yes. So I am ready for NBC. I'm ready for Dale Jr. to hear him.
And I think that's probably what I look forward to most, right? Dale Jr. being in the booth. I love listening to Dale Jr. talk about racing. I could just read me to sleep.
Yeah, I do too. As far as the racing product this year, I would give it a B minus, maybe a B. The short tracks, this short tracks D minus. They need some work still, but the rest of the racing intermediate package and everything has been really good.
1.5 miles, A. Everything else, D. So overall, B minus.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. The short tracks still suck. Super speedways. I still feel like the super speedways needed some work too. You saw in Talladega, it was a 2-lane race.
Yep.
Even if those guys tried to make a third line, one guy pulls out, the entire third line died. So
too aero dependent there.
Yeah, I love Atlanta, but I'm a little worried that Atlanta, super speedway Atlanta is going to be kind of a snooze fest as well.
Yeah, racing's hit or miss. Agree. Who do you think's favorite for the championship? We'll get there. We will get there. And then 1,000 horsepower, lose the gearbox. Just give me 1,000 horsepower, and I'd be fine. I really think you give me 1,000 horsepower, leave the gearbox. I don't care. There's going to be kids out there blowing up their gearbox because they have 1,000 horsepower. Yeah. So I don't know. I do the horsepower first, then we'll talk about the gearbox.
Yeah. And then as far as just championship picks, I obviously had Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, William Byron. I forget who my 4th pick was. I think maybe even had Ross Chastain in there. I'd have to go back and watch.
Yeah, so I think mine's probably gone through the most change. I said Elliott, Larson, and I think it's Byron Larson from the Hendrick camp. And then I still think Kyle Busch is definitely in there. And then for that last one, I mean, I'm struggling who my 4th should be. I mean, Truex Jr., I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Truex right now.
I think Truex is going to be able to rattle off, probably another 2 or 3 more wins on the year.
I don't think Elliott can make it, James. James on the TikTok side said Elliott, Larson, Busch, Truex. I don't think Elliott's going to make it.
Yeah, I don't think Elliott's going to make it to the championship 4. I honestly don't even think he's going to make the playoffs.
Dale and Burton, yeah, they will. That is for sure. All right. So let's talk a little bit real quick. We're almost at an hour, but let's talk a little bit quick about, we've heard a lot of rumors with scheduling. What would you like to see? I think we can both agree we would like the Brickyard to be back, and we would like the Indy Road Course, which that sounds like that's happening. And then Bristol Dirt, we both said that we're okay with Bristol Dirt not coming back, and that sounds like it's not happening.
Yeah. Bristol Dirt, goodbye, good riddance. Please never show your ugly face again. Indy Road Course, goodbye, good riddance. Please never show your ugly face again. I want to see these next-gen cars on the famed Indianapolis Oval. Bring back that prestigious race. That's
Need
a
it.
crown jewel race.
Need it.
So let's see that again.
Mhm.
And then as far as the rest of the schedule, 2024, I would like to see the Chicago Street Course race never come back either.
100%.
I don't think NASCAR needs to be even trying to entertain the idea of running a street course and trying to act like they are F1. We are not F1. We will never be F1. And in fact, I watched the last 2 laps of the F1 race yesterday from Canada, and
Oh,
I had to almost turn it off because it was so boring. I
Yeah,
don't
it is.
understand. I don't understand the excitement behind F1. Verstappen had like a 9-second lead over second place on a
Right.
road course,
it
just
makes
eating them up.
no sense. I mean, we need to stay away from it. That's not where we need to be. IndyCar, better, not where we need to be. Let's not make paddocks. Let's make our normal, like a mom and pop should be able to go out to the NASCAR race, get down to the pits.
NASCAR grew up on short tracks, and intermediate tracks, and super speedways. You know, I'm okay with 3-4 road courses on the schedule every single year. I'm okay with that. The Charlotte Roval, please let's change that up as well. Let's go back to the Oval. The car, has proven that it's a intermediate car right now. Charlotte has been phenomenal the last 2 years. So
Yeah.
Look, there's definitely changes that need to be made on the schedule to fit this car. What they are remain to be seen.
Yeah, and for the people on the TikTok side saying, hey, Road America, I 100% agree with you. Road America needs to be back. It shouldn't have been taken off to begin with, in my opinion, but hey, that's just me.
Yeah. Bring us back to Road America for July 4th weekend. We said that during our Friday episode for TikTok that, Road America, July 4th, 500,000 people show up to that race. That's an epic fail on NASCAR's part to of all places, go to Chicago for a fucking street course race downtown.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're going to go to our picks for Nashville.
Yeah.
All right.
Is Truck Series racing? I believe they are.
That's what I was just looking, because I'm not quite sure who's all back.
I think they are. Yes, they are.
Okay.
Truck,
Xfinity,
and Cup.
Okay, so we got all of them. Coming back from a break. I'm struggling between Heim and Smith. I want Smith to come back and kind of reset and start back off this next half of the season on a better foot than what he currently is sitting around, where he just hasn't been able to put it together lately. But Heim is also on a pretty good run himself of consistency, at least.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Majeski.
Majeski? Not a bad pick at all. All right. Who you got for Xfinity?
Let's see. Xfinity. Oh, shit. I'm gonna go with Josh Berry.
Ooh, I was actually thinking Josh Berry myself.
I think he's got this, announcement coming out this week. It's just gonna be an awesome week for him.
I'm gonna go Sheldon.
I would love to see it.
I
would love to see
it. We're fans, so hopefully it happens. But
Yeah.
that's who I'm gonna go with.
And then for the Cup Series race, that's a toughie.
We said Toyotas earlier. I think this is going to be – I know I said Christopher Bell has not been that great lately, but I think this is where Christopher Bell maybe makes his return. I could see him or Bubba Wallace winning this one.
Yeah, so I did say Toyota was going to win this race. I want to say that Truex is going to go back to back. I think
I
he's
would
got.
not hate it.
I think he's got the speed and the determination. I think the 19 team has kind of seated themselves as their favorites right now.
Oh, for sure. For sure. All right. Well, that's all I got. Thank y'all for everything. Make sure y'all check out our sponsors. We got good old Kanga coolers down there. We can put the entire 12 pack in the cooler, take it with you as you go. Iceless cooler. It's amazing. You use our code FASTCAR10 for 10% off. Really appreciate everything. Thank y'all for joining in. TikTok, all of that. Blow up the likes. Hit the follow if you don't already. We appreciate you. But until next time, see you.
Later, guys. We appreciate it.